Hello, beauties. Abundant Priestess here with an update on the energy of the current times. And wow, things have been really intense for people lately. So, even though some of these events have just passed, like the full moon from yesterday, for example, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about what happened so that in case anyone who hasn't really been up to date with the astrology that's currently happening right now will have a little bit of a foundation to process what's been going on for them, and as well, it could be other people that you've been dealing with that you're just like wondering what the heck is going on, what's going on with these people, why is the energy so intense right now, why is everything so feeling so emotional. So I'm going to get into the astrology, and then I will share an update with tarot. So I'm going to do a general read, and I will share on here right now that I'm not really planning to do any more of the tarot scopes for individual reads for the 12 signs. Unless something changes, I may feel inspired if there's a big astrological event in the future, but I want to shift more towards informational content. So if you ever do want to get in touch for a reading, please feel free to email me at abundantpriestess@gmail.com with your contact information, and I will get in touch with you about a reading. And as well, please feel free to build a relationship on here with me. That would be so great. I'm so interested in expanding this Abundant Priestess community, and so like and subscribe to this video if you would like to see more content from me. And yeah, let's get into it. So the astrology of the current moment. Wow, a lot has been happening. So I'll highlight some major things that have been going on. Firstly, we had the Cancerian full moon yesterday, which was really, I feel like, a culmination, like the height of a cycle that began with the Capricorn new moon 2 weeks before. So new moons typically bring the new beginnings, and then the full moon is when the energy can really like kind of climax for its true release to be able to move forward from some things, right? So, and typically we do have themes of letting go and renewal and death and rebirth with every new moon and full moon cycle. But some of the other things that have been happening around this time are highlighting the energy of death and rebirth specifically for this full moon. So we are entering a whole new cycle in a couple of different aspects we can look at it. So for one thing, we have Pluto that just in November finally settled into its new position in Pluto for the next 20 years. So that's a really long time for any planet to be in cycle. Before it's going to cycle back to, or before it cycles and moves on into the next sign. So it'll be moving into Pisces, but in like 2043. So that's like, 20, almost 20 years from now, and or 18 years. So that's a long time. And then we also have the full moon starting off all of the full moons of the year. So it's the first of 13 full moons, but it also happened on 113, which is very synchronistic. Also 13 is the death card in the tarot. So we have major themes of death and rebirth with this full moon. And then also on top of that, the North and South node 2 days before the full moon on the 1 and 11 portal had shifted into Pisces and Virgo. I think they were still in retrograde too. So there was kind of like this, and there was a lot of retrograde energy from before. So there was like a lot of energy coming up relating to past energy, past situations, karmic patterns, that kind of thing. And so, so North and South node are now in new signs for the next 18 months. So that's another like more minor cycle while we have this other big cycle of Pluto in Aquarius. So, there's that. And then some of the major aspects that happened during the full moon were that Chiron was square to the full moon on the 9th. So Chiron is the wounded warrior in the cosmic sky. So Chiron represents old themes of trauma and like I said, karmic patterns and just old energy, really, and things that have been tough to let go, and things that are really so deeply rooted that it's been hard to really transmute or transcend that energy, because it's just like very like this is actually coming from other lifetimes, so not even things that we're processing from this lifetime with Chiron. So this full moon was really intense for people. Also with the Cancerian energy, like Cancer is one of the most emotional, and it is the most emotionally guarded of the water signs typically. So where Scorpio and Pisces tend to be a little bit more like expressive about their issues and the pains in their heart and everything. Cancer can really like close up and hold in these things, and they can also be very like secretive and where you can't really quite see on the surface what these motives are, but you feel like this kind of questionable or untrusting energy. And yeah, so cancer the Cancer full moon has definitely brought up a lot of emotions for people, and also with the Chiron squaring it, because yeah, like squares are also the most challenging, or one of the more challenging aspects that any planet could have with another planet. So Chiron squaring full moon, yeah, that's going to bring up some deep seated issues. Then we had the Mars in retrograde also conjunct the full moon. So Mars, is the planet of war, retrograding in the sign of Cancer also. So it's like bringing up these like conflicts, emotional conflicts from the deep past. So that's basically what's been going on here. It's been a lot of cleansing and clearing things from the deep past. And I will even go one step further and say that if you haven't been experiencing these themes within your own life, be grateful for that, because I feel like it's definitely a sign that you have like at least worked with these energies enough that they didn't resurface, unless you have some really unique combination of astrology in your chart where you weren't incredibly affected by these themes that were going on. It's like I feel like nobody could have escaped it. So yeah, if you've been having an easy time lately, that's really lovely, because I feel like, that, yeah, you're on a good path. You're riding a good wave right now. This wasn't the moment for you to go through deep things. But you may have noticed some, issues surrounding you within other people, or other people may have brought up issues to you. You may have also just been thinking about things from the past recently that are, like people or pets or, situations that are no longer a part of your life, but that did deeply impact you. So, it's a great time to pay attention to your dreams and what you received from your dreams and intuitive insights at this time as well. And then let me see if I missed anything. So, blah, 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 13. We had all those retrogrades. Yeah. So like during like all of December, there was so much retrograde energy. So I feel like people felt like it was hard to really get momentum to make moves forward. And a lot of people described, especially like around Mercury retrograde time, that it was difficult. Like they kept feeling like they were trying so hard, but hitting like a wall every time when they tried to like make some progress with certain, things. Other things may flow easily, but there's usually some point of like either tension or like, friction or some kind of like redirection energy during Mars retrograde, because it's actually like bringing our awareness backwards. So it's like hard to create new things. It's actually, retrogrades are usually a great time to like work with older energies or finish old projects that were already started, that kind of thing. And yeah, so I mean, I feel like these retrogrades are now lightening up, and like this all, like the new moon from 2 weeks ago, the full moon that just happened yesterday, and then the next new moon that's going to be in Aquarius, I feel like are really like this whole month of time, this the last 2 weeks and then the future 2 weeks are going to be a period of time with where we're fully recalibrating. I feel like the Aquarius new moon is going to be a great chance to really have our fresh start. Like all this old stuff was coming up as we've been entering into this period of transition. So like the reason it came up is so that we can release it, so that we can move forward and be in a more prepared position for what's to come in this new cycle. And yeah, like, so then we're going to have the new moon in Aquarius, and it's going to be, like kicking off a new cycle, with the Aquarius energy also being highlighted already as new cycle energy. So basically, I just feel like these moons are all very powerful, and the last two were intense. I feel like Aquarius new moon is going to be more optimistic. So let's all hope that the energy is going to lighten up for us in the coming weeks. And let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm just going to go over some of these themes. So like old habits is a theme that's coming up. So things that just are no longer serving us anymore. Like we need to really be prepared to release what's no longer serving us, to be able to create space for new growth, and, like to create even the excitement about the new growth too. Because sometimes like change is uncomfortable. Mostly change is uncomfortable. And by the time we're finally ready to embrace it, hopefully we're excited by it. But a lot of the times, if you've really been redirected by the universe, and the universe was like throwing things at you that like made you redirect this way and that way, like the new path doesn't necessarily seem as exciting. It just seems like a fight or flight like mission, you know? So I feel like we're like, either way, wherever you're at with this, if you feel like you've just been like thrown through the ringer and now you're or put through the ringer, so now you want to come out with a more optimistic mindset, that's really great. If you already feel like you're like, I've seen some people coming into the new year with already a really fresh perspective, super motivated, you know, already like on it with you know, making moves towards their goals. That's really great. So definitely ride that wave too if you're there. But either way, it's like there are some things that have been left in the past or that are being called to be left in the past. So you know, like we just finished with the full moon energy, but today is still a good day to make really strong intentions for what you want in this new cycle. This is the day to solidify and create new habits. So you know, the energy that you're in and the flow you're in today can also set the tone for the next, you know, 18 months, or and you know, like we have many different types of cycles going on like at the same time, but I do feel like there's a collective new wave of like many of these like different cycles and aspects of our life kicking off together. So you know, let the past be in the past, and let what you've been trying to let go of like really, you know, now is the time, if you feel energy and motivation towards releasing it. You know, this is where like the universal energies are really supporting that decision for you. So let's see, old energy, old emotions resurfacing, old wounds. You know, if there still has been something on your heart that has come up for you in the last weeks that you feel like you need to talk with somebody about, it's still an okay time to bring these things up. I feel like it's definitely better to utilize the energy of what's been coming up for some benefit right now, rather than just having it be something that came up and is clouded in our current energy, and then we're like starting this new cycle off with a cloud. You know, like just try to like be as clear as you can be right now. If there's anything that needs to be said to someone, if anything has been left like open-ended, you know, try to bring as much resolve to it as you can now, so that it doesn't have to resurface later. You know, that's my best guidance on that. Yeah, themes of shame, guilt, fear, like even like the energy of us putting so much pressure on ourselves to achieve, because I feel like, you know, the energy of the times right now is very intense. Like things are speeding up, and it is likely to feel like energy is moving faster and faster, you know, especially Pluto and Aquarius. Like Aquarius is a fast moving sign. Aquarius is like known to be just like a little bit unstable, or like, you know, it's an air sign. It's very like this way, that way, you know, everything. Capricorn was before, where Pluto was very like stable and more like slow moving and more conservative, you know. So now the energy is more like leading into concepts of liberation and freedom and yeah, innovation, like newness, you know, like new things. Whereas Capricorn's more like tradition. Aquarius is like, yeah, like forward thinking, you know, um, and more about change rather than like holding on to what already was. Okay, so yeah, but there's going to be, you know, a lot of fear actually associated with this. Like now that there's going to be like, the faster we move, the more changes are going to happen quicker. So there's a lot of, I mean, even I'm thinking of the fires this week in LA, like that like fire is an element that is very shifty and brings change. Like fire actually brings revolution. In the tower card, the tower is on fire and it's burning to the ground to revolutionize and build up from the ground level again, like to rebuild. So you know, constructing something new, a new paradigm from the remnants of the old paradigm, you know, for example. But there can be a lot of fear associated with that. There can be a lot of like uncertainty. You know, if you have to be always light on your toes because there's so many changes going on around you, that can be something that is feeling like unstable, especially to certain people that are more like finding peace and security in that like solid, secure energy, you know. I personally am like someone who does thrive in the eye of the chaos, you know. So like I'm not really, I mean, a lot of you who know me, if you know me personally or know a little bit about my story, know that I'm a traveler. I'm always on the move, like mostly always. I spent like 14 of my last years being nomadic. So I mean, feel like I really like change, and stability is something that I'm still working to cultivate more in my life, and just like, routine, all of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, and I also have my moon in Aquarius, so that's going to be something that I feel like this is going to be a really exciting new era to be in, especially since it'll be a whole 20 years, because I'm really connected with my moon in Aquarius energy, even though I have a water sun and ascendant sign. I feel like this Aquarius moon is really, really deep and connects me with something, a cosmic that's just unexplainable. Like, so what I feel of Aquarian energy is already so mysterious, even to myself. That my own Aquarian energy is mysterious, and it's so, exciting, and you don't know quite what to expect. So I feel like we're entering a period of time that's going to be really shifty, and you are going to have to be light on your toes, and you are going to have to be, willing to be flexible, and um, you know, uh, like, I don't know why I feel to share this. I'm not political, by the way, so I'm just like very much in the center. But the reason why I'm not political is because, like, if anything that COVID taught me, or the situations that happened during the pandemic, is I'm just like, wow, the power shifts and the dynamics and everything, they're all changing and flipping sides. And like, at the top of everything, there's like these puppeteers just like even like creating this dualism and the polarities between, like, two signs, and or two sides, really, everything. So I just feel like there is I feel like it's better to be in the center than to be on the extremes in most cases of anything, unless the energy tends to be really, really one-sided, and you feel strongly like that you need to be on the other side just to create balance. Like, that might be your role in order to create collective balance. Sometimes we do need to be on the extremes, but mostly when we're in center, that helps to like gravitate and move the energies, like other energies magnetically towards center too, the stronger that the center is, right? um so yeah, let me see any other themes before I get into this reading. Yeah, so this paradigm shift, I mean, so paradigms are not really like dealing with just like little shifts here and there, but really, really big concepts. So, I feel like what we're doing right now is preparing for this new technological era, really, because that's the thing that's been like so intense for us. Also, there are themes about like the world changing, going through planetary shifts as well, for sure. But like the whole world is going through some pretty major changes, and yeah, I feel excited about the new paradigm. I feel like we're all kind of rewriting old stories, and writing new stories as well. Definitely guided to focus on the new stories, but I feel like we also need to, in order to really prepare our minds for the new paradigm shift, I feel like we need to like bring peace to the old stories. And because the more we tell ourselves stories, the more we remember the past, the more like the details of those incidents also like start to shift. And it's kind of like that telephone game. If you remember when you were a kid, it's like one person tells another person like one sentence, and then that person tells another person next to them, another person next to them, another person. By the time it gets to the last person, like the entire thing has changed to like a different message, um so yeah, it's like we have the power and the capability to tell ourselves new stories about our old traumas even. And I feel like this is a really powerful tool to use, because like the traumas are creating fears that can like create that can actually create blockages in our lives, that from being able to progress. And there's so much beauty in this world. Like, literally, we can create anything that we want, that we truly desire, and we are creating what we are truly desiring, actually. So it's like we need to be really clear about what it is that we desire, what we need to resolve from the past to be able to set a clean slate for new growth. And that's what I see regarding this shift as like the main thing: clearing out old traumas, and preparing for new growth, and preparing for success, preparing for abundance, preparing for our best lives to manifest. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get into the collective read. Let's see what's coming through here for the collective. I'm also going to use some Palo Santo and just take a few breaths to clear the energy. Thank you for hanging in there, by the way, if you are still tuning in. And yeah, whatever's been going on for you too, I just want to take a moment to cleanse the energy, cleanse your energy. Let's cleanse my energy too. Let's be clean, entering this new cycle with clarity and focus and a clean, pure, forgiving, totally healed heart. Thank you. Okay. So what are the current messages for the collective regarding these major themes of change, of death and rebirth, of resolving of ancient energies, really? Because let's also remember that some of this stuff is coming from, when we talk about karmic patterns and karmic things, this is not even our responsibility from this lifetime. It's like the responsibility that we have in this lifetime to deal with healing of the old ancient energies. Could be even ancestral karmas that have nothing to do with you personally other than this ancestral link. So, okay. What are the messages for the collective today regarding these shifts and the present energy? What are we really guided to see to be able to move forward? Okay, well, so we have judgment here. Judgment is the energy of reckoning. It's so like in the image here, it's the judgment call of these people as they're in their most vulnerable position. Like, look, they're naked. They actually need salvation. Looks like they're out at sea or just like in some kind of place where they are needing some sign. And so judgment comes in as the final sign, the clarity, the decision. Actually, judgment is usually a pretty cut and dry decision on something to, and I feel like there's the decision that is on the table here is largely to do with just finding some peace and acceptance with some things from the past, and also just to understand where we're at in the present too. But really just like having some higher level judgment here, as opposed to being on that ground level in fight or flight mode. Like, try to see the bigger picture. And yeah, like I mean, so I see for the collective that the guidance here is in making a decision. Somehow this is reminding me of something that somebody told me when I was working at a women's facility in high school, and somebody had told me like about marriage, which really it was like a decision that like this is a decision that this is the way you make decisions about everything in life. But she said that that marriage is a commitment that you decide on, is not really about love. And I think that really speaks to, yeah, like collective energy, or general energy that we do experience as in the human experience as people. Is that we we feel moved by these emotions in the moment, but like whether it is extreme love, or it could be extreme rage, or it could be extreme just like an overwhelm of emotion, like a tiredness or something. And a lot of the decisions that we make due to emotions are actually end up not being the thing that they end up being something that we like either regret later, or just like don't really sit well with certain decisions, that we made from high levels of emotion. So, true intuition, I feel, is as I see it, is a communication between the mind and the heart. So if we are leading too much with the heart, we can really get like lost in what's not realistic. We can also get lost in, like emotions are coming and going. They're also like up and down, like they're not really stable, and they can help us. Like emotions are definitely tools to access intuition with, but again, in combination with the balance with the mind. If we're too much in our logical mind too, it's like we can miss out on amazing opportunities that our heart can only lead us to. So I feel like, yeah, we need this sacred union between the mind and the heart to be able to move intuitively in this world. And so, but yeah, judgment comes in as the result of that, the result of the mind and the heart communication and the intuition speaking to some things. So then make the judgment call. And this is coming from a higher perspective. You can see the angel here. So this is not something that's made just, with a lower level perspective, but with some kind of higher recognition or a sign, right? Okay. So other energy that comes up, the Three of Pentacles. So this is a very peaceful energy. This is about cooperation. This is even putting in just like regular work, putting in like collaborating and having equal shares with other people too. Like this is actually very Aquarian energy, even though even what does it say actually? I write on these Mars and Capricorn, and then we have the Pentacles are all Earth sign related cards. But I feel a very like collaborative energy here with the Aquarius. In Aquarian energy, it's like there are these individual entities, but they are working together harmoniously. It's like, I have a skill in this area, so I'm going to do this. And then you have a skill in that area, so you do this, I'll do this. And then like together, we're going to make this all a, harmonious cycle of creation. So, yeah, so there's also the energy of projects. Like, I feel like now is the time to, first of all, make decisions about what you need to do to move forward from the challenging energy that has come up. If there still is something to resolve, make a decision to resolve it, do something here, but don't be lost in the confusion at this time. Like, actually forget where exactly it is, but in some philosophy, the very first step in success, some billionaire or something like wrote this book I read one time, but the very first step in success is actually making a decision, because like the gray area, the confusion, like even taking like 5 minutes to make a decision about something like what you're going to wear, that day or something can be, like unnecessary time lost, where like we could like do better to make a decision quickly and then just like live with that. At least, yeah, that was one person's perspective, but it's just reminding me of this now. It's like, make a decision and get on with it, right? Like, get moving, get productive. So I do see productivity here. I feel like all of this energy is being brought up to help people to make moves towards something greater and more productive overall in the bigger picture. And also to be able to work well with others. Because the one thing that came up that I didn't mention until now, but it was actually one of the most major themes I was noticing, I forgot to mention it, is about relationships, like how hard this was on relationships during the last few weeks, because there have been a lot of tensions, like, and in my psychic readings, I've been working with people a lot. There's been a lot of breakups, separations, and people looking to the past. A lot of like rekindling with exes type of situations, or reaching out to exes or old friends, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been a very like monumental moment for relationships, but now I see that this energy feels to be moving in a more harmonious direction, especially with this now. The final message for this read is the Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups is a more fun and exciting and just like lighthearted approach to life. So even this energy is a little bit more like stable, methodical, could be even a little bit boring. Judgment is also a little bit boring, but I feel like this is the energy, like the first energies of the next like week or so. And then just intuitively, I'm picking up on this being like the start of the new month. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be entering into February. And also because Knight of Cups carries very much this like Cupid, just like wearing your heart on your sleeve energy. Then February is the month when Valentine's Day happens. And a lot of people, after coming out from a very cold and introverted January, are starting to feel more, movement within their heart space and within curiosity towards, dating or sharing more with loved ones, and just more optimism in general. Like this is really more like the dark night of the soul or time of the year. January, so cold, so bitter. But yeah, so I feel like there's going to be a new wave of something that feels a little bit more exciting coming forward, going forward. And as well, just like like all of this feels so much more lighthearted than all the karmic stuff that's been coming up in the last week. So I do feel like, the universe always moves through cycles. We're not just going to be in one theme forever, right? So it's not just a dark moment forever. It's a dark moment, and it's going to be light again. So I feel like things are lightening up this month. So prepare for a better feeling in the coming month. And then I did also draw this card earlier too. I've been working with this archetypal Reiki deck that I have. Sorry, is that right? Yeah, archetypal Reiki deck. That I got from a thrift store one time. I have like millions of decks, but I really like this one, and it's been speaking to me a lot lately. So I just started working with it again. So it's prayer and meditation. I know you can't read that because it's backwards, but so prayer and meditation, opening and closing. And so it's speaking about like the dynamic energies, which is really along the theme with what we just experienced as well, and the stuff that I've been highlighting here. But so prayer and meditation. So a prayer is uplifted towards the divine, and it's kind of like this energy actually. It's like we're looking to something, we're like surrendering to something that is greater than us, that we are connected to, but it's so in this way we're looking up, we're looking outward, we're looking to connect and make clear intentions known to the universe. So it's very intentional. It's very like directional with prayer. Meditation is more introverted. So it's bringing the energy inward, and more towards the earth, grounding. So while we're looking to the heavens with prayer, in meditation, we're grounding down. And this dynamic and polarizing of energies of this human experience really help to stretch our capacity and our awareness, and then in the Reiki deck, we have like the themes of this deck altogether are about balance. It's like we can be on one extreme or we can be on the other, but eventually we are again like guided towards being more in the center, being more in balance. And so how can we how can we balance between prayer and meditation? So I read a little bit about that in here, but I'm going to give you my take on it. It's that I feel like we can be intentional with our prayer, and then we can be so grounded within our meditation, and then in letting go and releasing of everything, and just like living life in the peace, feeling like we've already done all that we could do. Like we meditated, we grounded our energy, we also prayed on the situation. Now we release it, like in magic. If you ever work with magic, you know that you're typically supposed to do the spell or make the affirmation, put so much energy into it in the moment of action, and then you release it, and there's like there's a period of non-action until the energy manifests. So that's my take on the prayer and meditation aspect. And then the opening and closing, I will just read, where did I find that it was like, there's a lot of text here, but I just want to share one thing. I'll just read. Okay, so if the card is upright, the energy, this would be like the extremes. If the card is upright, the energy is that your prayer is truly the energy that your prayer is truly thoughts given or sent with love and deep caring. You are open to divine communication in the form of sending or receiving. Okay, so you can also receive prayers. If the card is reversed, you are too distracted while you meditate and too greedy when you pray. Okay, interesting themes of greed with prayer. Look to your intent when you pray or meditate. Listen quietly, open your heart. Let your prayer flow through you. Pray from love, not from fear. Pray from soul, not from ego. Pray from the heart, not from the head. Pray in the present tense as if it's already happened. This is how we also manifest things and work with affirmations. Let me be a clear channel for your love. It's beautiful. So, and then, okay, affirm with the feeling. Today, I create a prayer that is from my soul, and I meditate upon the gifts I have been given. Beautiful. So, yeah, there is a blessing and a message to every difficult challenge that we face. And, I feel like when we find the medicine in any interaction that we have, and anything that was hurtful to us, and any issues that we have with others, the medicine is in the lesson that we learn. And it's really in what we learn about ourselves, because, unless you are yeah, you might believe in what you believe, right? Okay, but like a lot of people on the conscious path will come to the acceptance and realization, and there's so much deep philosophy on this, but that we are the creators of our own experience. I certainly believe that I am. So it's not really that it's anyone else's fault. It's not even our fault either. It's just energy. Like so, but I feel like so in every interaction we are consenting to something, or we are co-creating, or we are coexisting with something. So you know like because like we are like everything that we experience is our relationship with the external world, so it is a relationship. So we finding acceptance in the fact that we drew in whatever experience that it was, even if it was hurtful or painful, or that it was even something that we had to experience, so that like the universe was trying to help us to grow into something new completely, so that some situation like that wouldn't happen again. Then finding the message in that and the lesson, and really looking inward for that, as and praying on it as well, but rather than looking to external factors and situations with like blame, or with with uh, lack of true understanding or acceptance in, okay, this happened and this happened for a reason. Yeah, like it's going to be much more beneficial to really take accountability for our own influence in situations. And yeah, I feel like that's how we also find peace too. It's like we can only do what we know in any given moment with what we are aware of in that moment. So it's no use crying over spilt milk. It's like, well, I didn't know I was going to spill that milk, or I didn't realize that my hands were still slippery from the lotion, or whatever it is. Or like I was anxious in that moment, so I was shaking, and then I spilled the milk. Whatever it is, like rather than like judging what happened, it like you can look back on it and say, okay, that did happen, and I'm gonna move forward from it. So easier said than done for sure, but I feel like the more that we really attempt to heal and resolve and find peace, and just truly accepting and stopping to deny the past, or denying the hurtful feelings that have been coming up for us, yeah, finding acceptance and peace is the best way to really move forward with a healed heart. So I hope that speaks to you in some way, with whatever it is that you're experiencing in your life right now, and whatever that it is that you are wanting to release and let go. I hope that you have the courage and the universal support and the willingness and motivation to do it, once and for good. At least allow this energy to rest now. And it may not be the time, it's not the moment to release everything. So maybe you got a little bit further on your progress, and you can this will all resolve and resurface with the intent to resolve at another moment, when the energy is better for resolution for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're still here, please, share your thoughts and maybe something of your personal experience in the comments, and for everybody to see. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to sharing more messages like this with you. And yeah, if you would still please subscribe to my channel if you like more content like this to show up in your feed. And I'm wishing you guys so many blessings in the new cycle. Blessings, abundance, happiness, joy, love. You're a queen, you're a king. Always remember that.